Hi crafty friends, it's Robin from Raincross Farms Makery. Welcome to Tuesday Night Crafting with the Makery. Again, my name is Robin. Behind the camera, behind the computer is my husband Bill, so you might hear his voice from time to time. Let me get my tool set up here and we will be all set to go. This is the one. Saved and published. Yay! Okay, we should be good to go. So when you get here, pop on, say hello, let me know you're watching, let me know who's out there, and I will tell you all about our projects tonight. We have 2 projects that we're doing. Okay, I think I'm all set up there. Should be good to go. Yay! So let's see who is on. Bill is here. Yay, Bill. Okay, tonight's keyword is homebody. Homebody. The question is, are you a homebody or do you like to get out and go? So I picked homebody because I'm a homebody. So again, say hello. If you are watching live, there will be a red box up here that says live. That's how you'll know you're watching us in real time. If that box isn't there, it's okay. You're watching the replay, but go ahead and comment, #replay. Go ahead and comment that keyword homebody, one word, and we'll get you entered into this week's drawing. Every week we hold a drawing for some Happy Mail. And every time we go live, we give out a new keyword, which gets you a new entry into the giveaway. So, hello, Cheryl. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We would love it if you would give our page a heart, if you would follow our page, if you're not already following Raincross Farms Makery, and if you'd sprinkle out our video to your page, to a craft page you might belong to, or if, as you're watching the project, you think of someone comes to mind that you think would really enjoy this, feel free to share it to their page or tag them in the comments. That will be great. Thanks so much. Okay, so let's get started. Here's our design we're using tonight. I told you our keyword here is homebody, but this transfer is called Vacation Homebody because there's 2 halves to it. And so it's one of those word art, dictionary art, I guess. Hey, Maud. So it has the word vacation, and then just like a dictionary, it has it part of speech. It has its syllables broken down. It has its pronunciation, and then it has the definitions, just like a dictionary. This definition for vacation is, number 1, something the person reading this needs. Something the person reading this right now needs. And number 2, always over way too soon. That's a pretty good definition of vacation. And then the other one is homebody. Again, breaking it down by syllables, parts of speech, pronunciation, and homebody says, a person who enjoys the warmth and simple pleasures of being at home. And used in a sentence, I'm a homebody, I don't want to go out, just come over and I'll make you dinner. Or just come over and Bill will make you dinner.
If I come home from work, will you make me dinner?
Sure, I'll make you dinner.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. There's got to be something in that fridge we can heat up in the microwave. Okay, so this is one of our B-size transfers. Again, it is called Vacation and Homebody. Hello, Cheryl. We have 2 Cheryls on tonight so far. Okay, now this size transfer, I like to keep the backer sheet intact because it's 8.5 by 11. Fits really good into a notebook. So I'm just going to separate the two little definitions. I'm just going to take a little utility knife and just lightly cut it along that line, but I'm not pushing down into the backer, so it stays whole. Hey, Teresa, I put something in the mail for you today, so hopefully you'll get that in a couple days. Okay, so what are we going to do with these? Well, the one that spoke to me is Homebody. And what do homebodies usually like to do? Sit on a couch, right? Comfy couch. So what do you need on a couch? You need a cushion. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to ink this on one of our pillow covers. And I have not used this size before. I've used the big 16-inch squares, but this one is a 12 by 24 canvas lumbar pillow. So it's the long skinny pillow. Super fancy, really nice quality, has an invisible zipper down here. So pretty cool. So this is what we're going to use tonight for our Homebody. Okay, with an ink project, I could probably get away without using it, but I'm going to use an ink mat on it. And let me tell you why. Our ink mat is just like a Cricut mat. It's just this thin plastic sheet, but it is sticky and it serves two purposes. It serves two purposes. When I'm inking, especially like on a t-shirt or something where the fabric might be kind of thin, this will keep the top layer of ink from leaking onto the back layer of your fabric, which you don't want. And it also, because it is sticky, I don't necessarily have to iron this first, because you can kind of see it's kind of wrinkly. So this kind of holds that in place, holds my fabric in place so it doesn't shift on the design. Okay, you guys are picking it up. Our keyword is Homebody. So this ink mat is actually, the one that I just used here is actually half of our, the normal size one. We have two different sizes. We have the big square, the 17 by 17, and then this is, I believe it's 11 by 23 inches, and I cut it in half, and it works perfectly in t-shirts and all that good stuff. So I'm going to show you how to use ink and apply this. So I'm pulling off my sticky back transfer. I don't need to fuzz it because it's going on to fabric. And I do really want it to stick really well to this fabric because I don't want it to bleed out. Now I'm not going to put it right at the edge because there needs to be some space for the pillow that kind of puffs out. So I'm kind of centering it top to bottom, and I'm giving it a bit of space to the left-hand side. And I'm doing it to the left-hand side because the transfer is left justified, which means it's all lined up along the left side. Okay, so I'm pushing that down, making sure it's attached really, really well. And I'm going to get out my ink colors. What did I do with them here? Okay, I've got my handy dandy, what is this, color case. So I think because I decorate my house in black trim, white trim, wood grain, and green, I'm going to use the pesto ink. So this looks a lot like our chalk paste, but this is actually ink. This needs to be heat set, and this is our permanent version. So I'm going to use the pesto green. And then for another project, I'm going to pull this out now. I'm going to use the Tide. Isn't that pretty? Kind of a oceany turquoise. Anyway, this reminds me, my little set of ink. We are in the middle of color craze, goes through the month of May. So for color craze, any 3 jars, let me grab another one. Okay, any 3 jars, whether it's ink or paste or combined, you get a 4th one for free. So that's a pretty great deal. Buy 3, get 1 free. Any colors, any pastes in jars, mix and match the 2. Awesome. Okay, put that up. Yes, I love my color cases too. I don't use them, well, down in my craft studio, I have some little shelves that I use instead for the regular paste colors, because I have so many different paste colors. I'd have like 3 or 4 different color cases, but this size works really well. Each little side holds, yeah, I hear you. Each little side holds 9 different jars. So 2 sides, so this will hold 18 jars. That's quite a bit too. So you can get this color case in my shop. Okay, so I've got this push down. And same application is the same as with paste. I'm going to get a squeegee. The only difference is when I'm using paste, I can kind of go back and forth and up and down, and it doesn't really make much difference. But when I'm especially doing fabric with ink, I want to keep going the same direction, not back and forth, not up and down, not swirling around, but just straight across and pick a direction. Hey, Teresa, you're back. I didn't even know you were gone. Okay, so here's our pesto green, which matches my house. You can get whatever color matches your house. And I am just going to drag this across the screen. Make sure I get it covered. I need to be very careful I don't get it off the screen, because it will stain. If I get any of it on that fabric, it's going to stain. It might not be heat set, but it will have stained. Okay. Lots of thin little letters. I want to make sure I get all of those covered. These projects are going to go pretty fast. I should get you out of here pretty early. Okay. So scrape off the excess, put it back in the jar. This cleans up exactly the same as paste. Just use water and a board eraser. I'll show you in a moment. So I'm going to check to make sure I don't have any ink on my fingers, because like I said, if I get any on this fabric, it's going to leave a stain. So I'm going to peel that off. I like it. I like it. Let me put this down. So here is my pillow. Cute, cute, cute. What do you think? Do you like it? Are you a homebody? Are you a homebody like me? Okay, I'm going to give this just, unwind my cord. I'm going to give this just a little bit of a dry, not completely at this point. Did you take me out to lunch today? But now it feels like the Wizard of Oz with this wind. We are actually on a flood watch that I read. Not our particular area, but within our county, there's supposed to be some severe thunderstorms overnight. Enough that your doors are staying closed. I'm so much of a homebody that I rarely leave my bedroom. Well, you also have food available. If I don't remember, your bedroom is actually kind of like a little suite. I would stay in the bedroom all day, but I have to get up to get food. Right? You'll hear it. Okay. Set that aside for just a minute. And let's clean this up so I can show you how. These transfers are guaranteed to last 10 to 12 times, guaranteed by the company. But I know if you clean them up promptly and thoroughly, you can get a lot more uses out of them. You can get 20 or more uses. Cat food stacked behind the door holding it closed. Oh my. Okay, and I'm going to start, I like to start with a paper towel, a dampened paper towel, or one of these Swedish dishcloths that's reusable. And this isn't the best way to clean it, but it's the best way to start cleaning it. I just go over this to get the bulk of that ink off. And I actually think ink cleans up easier than paste. I'll have to watch the replay. Are we having trouble with watching, or I'm not following that stream? Hope everything's okay, Teresa.
Cursor kept freezing.
Okay.
So I said exit all the way out of Facebook and back in.
Okay.
So that's when she said she's back.
Okay. So yeah, you can make sure you've commented the keyword before you go. Okay, then I'm going to switch over to my board eraser, which is like a magic eraser. There's no chemicals in this. We don't want to use chemicals as we clean these because that will deteriorate the adhesive. Okay, good. Cheryl's not having any troubles. 103. We will get those days. Thankfully, not yet. Okay, and I'm also going to turn it over because that ink will travel through the screen and get stuck on the back. So I'm going to clean this front and back. My goal is to get all of that paste or ink out of that screen. Okay, and ta-da, my screen is clean. I'm going to let this dry, sticky side up. And when it's dry, I'll put it back on the backer sheet and put it away in its little plastic case. Okay, so let me go back. Now the best practices when you're inking something is to let this completely dry overnight. Drying it does not heat set it, however, but you don't want to heat set something that still is wet. So we're going to kind of cheat and we're going to dry it just to the touch. But ideally, if you could leave it overnight or 24 hours to dry, that would be great. So I'm just going to make sure this is dry. Now I still have my ink mat in there, and I'm not worried with this dryer because this doesn't get super hot. But if you use anything warmer, you might want to remove this from out of it so that you don't warp it. But like I said, this doesn't get hot enough to bother that. So I'm going to show you how to heat set this. I'm going to be doing it with my Cricut Easy Press, but you can do it just as easily with a household iron. And I'll explain how to do it both ways. So I'm just making sure I don't pick up any ink as I lightly touch it, because I do want it to be dry. I'm wearing my Watts of Love solar light to remind me and to remind you that especially during the month of May, we are focusing on fundraising for a nonprofit corporation that we partner with. They provide solar lights to third world countries where poverty is high and electricity is unavailable or unattainable. And this helps make the lives easier of those people because they don't have to stop all their work after dark, and they don't have to do it by firelight, which can be dangerous and can be bad for your health to constantly have a fire, smoke from a fire, or they don't have to purchase kerosene for kerosene lamps, which can be dangerous. So it frees up some of their extra money or extra time to help them become more productive and self-sufficient. Not that they're not productive, but whatever. So anyway, so I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. There should be on your screen, there should have been a little, you can either click the thing that looks like chain links, and you can find the link that says donate to Watts of Love, or it may come up automatically on your screen, a little place that you can press Watts of Love, or when you comment your keyword Homebody, you'll get a set of buttons that you can push. And if you look through product info, there'll be a link to Watts of Love. So we would love it if you would consider making a donation. With a $5 donation this month, you will be sent a free A-size transfer, so as a little thank you. So that's for a minimum of $5 donation, but you can donate in any amount, and any stars that we receive during our lives in the month of May, we will donate to Watts of Love. Oh, and that reminds me, I got some other good news too. Okay, so this is pretty much dry to the touch. So I'm going to show you how to heat set it. So now I'm going to get my heat mat because I don't want to warp my plastic surface down there. So I'm going to lay this down, and then the all-important parchment paper, not wax paper, that will make a mess. And you just need enough to cover your design, or somewhat close to that. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to use my Cricut Easy Press, and I have this set at 350 degrees for 30 seconds. And I am just going to, I don't have to push it down, I just lay it on there. Has anything changed on what club members will get when they first sign up? When they first sign up, they get a free mini squeegee with their very first order. And there's a special going on right now for club members. And actually, if you purchase $75 in an order, you get one of these free color cases for free. Okay, so that was $350 for 30 seconds. Now I'm going to take this off. This is why we want it to dry, because we don't really want to get all of that ink transferred onto here. You don't have that so much when you let it dry. So I'm going to let it cool for just a second, and I'm going to check and see if it's dry. Okay, if you don't have an Easy Press, don't go buy one unless you want to and need an excuse to. In that case, yes, you need one. But if you just have a household iron, this is what you do. No water in it. You don't want any steam. You set it to medium-high, and you use the parchment paper, and you go over it, but you keep the iron moving for about 3 to 4 minutes. The reason you keep the iron moving is because on a household iron, they're meant to emit steam, and so there's those little holes in the faceplate. And if you didn't move that around, it would steam in some of those holes, and you'd never get them out of your fabric. So you keep the household iron moving. This doesn't have steam holes, so I can just hold it there in place. Okay, now to test to see if it's heat set, once I've done it for about 30 seconds and it has cooled to the touch, I'm just going to feel it. If it feels tacky at all, then I have not heat set it enough. It does not feel tacky, so I think I nailed it. So just to be safe, if at all possible, you want to turn your garment, your t-shirt, your pillowcase inside out, and you want to heat press it again from the back side, just in case deep down that ink isn't completely heat set. Okay, now I'm not putting this directly on ink, and there's no bleed through, so I don't need the parchment paper, but I'm again, nope, that wasn't it. Again going to do 350 degrees for 30 seconds. That's kind of the standard for canvas, cotton, some of those sturdier materials. If you wanted to heat set a more delicate fabric, you would probably lower the heat down. You could bring it down to like 250 degrees if necessary, and heat set it in smaller time segments. So like 15 seconds. Lift it up, let it cool, make sure it's not damaging your fabric. Once it cools off, place it down again for another 15 seconds. So that's for those more delicate fabrics. Okay, so here is my pillow. So before I move on, I'm going to tell you my other good news. On Saturday, our company is holding what's called a chalkathon. I told you we're raising money in the month of May for Watts of Love. Well, on Saturday, they are dedicating 4 hours to having a chalkathon. You're welcome to watch it. It's on the Chalk Couture Facebook page, just their regular business page. It's from 9 to 1 on Pacific time on this Saturday, the 20th. They will be giving away prizes. They'll be having all kinds of fun and games. They're also having an art auction. And a month or so ago, they asked for entries for people who wanted to submit an art project to be auctioned off. And I just found out this afternoon that they chose my clock as one of their auction items. So look at it while you can, because after Saturday, I'm going to have to mail it off to the highest bidder. So, yay, I'm so excited. I'm going to have something in their auction. So watch it and I don't know, bid on my clock. Okay, I'm just going to kind of iron the rest of the wrinkles out of this a little bit. Thank you. I know it was so exciting. And when I got the email originally about entering things, they said, we will let you know by May 15th if we've selected you. And May 15th came and went, and I thought, oh, well, you know, who am I to compete with some of the awesome designers that I've seen? But I got the email today. Okay, so here's my pillowcase. And I went and bought a pillow form to fit in it.
I thought you just use dog hair.
You could stuff it with dog hair if you wanted.
Dog hair
I have plenty, but I ordered on Amazon. I typed in 12 by 24 pillow form, and I actually ordered 2 of them, and I assumed it was going to come in a big old box, you know, double this size. It came in a little. This is my 12 by 24 pillow. And it's all, what is that? The air vacuum sealed. So we're going to see if this truly is a 12 by 24 pillow. That's just kind of awesome. We bought a bed like that. A king size mattress and a queen size mattress that came all vacuum packed, vacuum sealed. And it was kind of awesome. Okay, there's another plastic bag in here. Actually, doesn't smell too bad. Sometimes things you get, okay, it's kind of puffing up. It doesn't need to puff up too much, but kind of puffed up. What do you think? I never get it back down to that size, but here we go. Let's stick it in here and see how she looks. Looks pretty good. So if you're interested in these supplies, minus the pillow, I mean, although I could give you the Amazon link to the pillow, but here is my bolster pillow, and purposely off center, but I think it's cute. I could have put another design over here, but I just kind of like the look of this. So here's our Homebody project. You guys want to do another project? Who wants to do another project? Give me some hearts if you want to do one more project real quick. Okay.
That's not even me this time.
What? The hearts?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing some hearts. I'm seeing some hearts. Okay, we'll do another project. Okay. So we're going to use the other side of this transfer, the one that says vacation. Now, vacation, you don't want a couch pillow. You want something that will go with you. So, tote bag. Awesome deal from Hobby Lobby. This was $2.49. And I don't remember if it was on sale or not. But $2.49 for a tote bag, a heavy canvas tote bag. You kind of can't beat that deal, right? So we are going to put our vacation on our tote bag. So here is our ink mat. There is no front or back to this, so I'm just going to slide this in. And I'm not going way down to the bottom where where that seam is. Yeah, but it's not on this transfer. Okay, Bill wants you to see this. This would be cute for it.
You put that on there with the.
Bill says this would be awesome for the other side of the tote bag. Vacay mode. Oh, hey, vacay mode.
No, I'm talking about the palm tree on the other side.
Oh, the palm tree on the other side?
I was just saying to add the palm tree.
I could do that. I might not do it tonight, but we got lots of patterns, especially a lot of summer patterns. But I wanted to use this one because this kind of is a twofer. You get two designs on one pattern. So I've got that pressed down. And again, I don't need to fuzz this because it's going on fabric, but I do want to. Okay, this is going to kind of be where it folds. And I think I want it a little bit lower than the center. Good enough. Good enough. Gee, thanks. Okay, now this is the one I'm going to do with the Tide. Same thing. It's ink that needs to be heat set. We have the same shade in paste too, if you don't need it to be a permanent. So squeegee, again, one direction. And I don't push too hard when I'm doing it on fabric because I don't want to squeeze the paste out and cause it to bleed underneath that. Kind of close to the edge there. Let's go down. Oh, I know. I'm doing it on the, I've got the ink mat in there, but I'm doing it on my heat pad. So it's kind of, it doesn't have a sturdy surface. Okay. Scrape off the excess. And check your fingers. It looks good. Okay, let's put that down. Here we go. Here's my vacation bag. And like Bill said, I could use some of my other transfers. I could do palm trees all over it. Got a lot of other summer things too. Isn't that pretty? Carry my towel and my flip-flops and what else do I need? My sunscreen.
Popsicles.
I probably wouldn't put popsicles in here, but okay. I do see a tiny bit that didn't quite go through the screen. I'm going to show you how you can touch it up. I'm going to use my detail tool. It's got this little sharp rubbery point on it, and I'm just going to take a little bit of the ink and I'm just going to kind of trace that in. And no one will know that it didn't transfer 100% well. Okay. again, we are going to dry this. And you know what I'm going to do? What I'm going to do while I'm drying this, I'm going to read you a story from our Light the Dark. This is a story from Watts of Love. And it's the story about their very first 3 lights. First 3 lights. Okay.
Is it a storybook?
It's kind of it's a coffee table book. So here's oh, there we go. Okay. I'm going to dry and I'm going to read. Listen, children. The first light distribution was scheduled to bring 1,000 lights to the Philippines. I told you this company provides lights, so they'll bring 1,000 or more to a certain village to give them to those villagers. So their first time they had 1,000 lights, and with the help of local partners, Nancy Economou, who is the founder of, targeted a small primitive island where people were literally starving to death. Logistically, it was almost impossible to import these lights to the island, but Nancy was determined to make an impact. When she finally got to the island, all 1,000 lights were stuck in customs. Nancy had only brought 3 other lights in her suitcase, so she asked her partner to find the 3 most vulnerable families in need. The foundation of Watts of Love came to fruition after the distribution of the first 3 lights. These 3 lights proved to be more than just a means to illuminate a home, but it was a link to people's hearts and a way to let people know they were valuable and worthy of love. So just briefly about the 3 lights. Okay, this is Nini. The first light was brought to the home of an older woman named Nini. She had never owned a pair of shoes, and the entire back of her house was burned from a kerosene fire. When Nancy told her that she was there to give her a light, Nini said, "I cannot accept this from you. I'm too poor for you to love me." She was crying, saying she had been cursed, abandoned by her government, and left there to die by her family. By the end of their time together, she was singing and saying, "I may be poor, but I am loved." So that was the first light. This is Emily's family. Turn that back on. This is Emily's family, and the pictures are dark on purpose because it's a dark place without these lights. The next person Nancy visited was named Emily, a mother of 7 children. As a mother herself, Nancy was excited to give her second light to Emily. Because of the light, Emily made 1,000 bamboo barbecue sticks overnight. She instantly became a businesswoman, making bamboo barbecue sticks that she could sell on the mainland. The impact was immediate. The light gave Emily a gift that money could not buy: opportunity. Here's a picture of her with her barbecue sticks. So she was able to work into the night because she had that light and start a income producing business. Okay, and the third one. The third light Nancy gave out was to a man and his family. The family would lick their fingers, dip them in salt, and rub the salt on their tongues to trick their body into thinking they had eaten. Nancy was told not to speak to the man's wife, Ruth, because she was too uneducated to understand how to operate the light. So Nancy showed the man how to use the light while his wife stood silently in the background. A few months later, when the lights were finally released from customs, Nancy traveled back to the Philippines to distribute all 1,000 lights. When she arrived, Ruth came down from the mountaintop and said, "Since we received this light, we have not gone hungry even one day. I pretend I'm still buying kerosene. Every day I put some money aside. At first, I bought us a little bit of rice to survive, but then finally, when I had saved enough, I bought a chicken." These lights inspired education, entrepreneurship, caretaking, and community building. The first 3 light recipients demonstrated the importance of compound savings and taught Watts of Love the value of listening to understand and honor others. It became evident that in order to have the biggest impact, Watts of Love needed to learn from the people it served. So, I thought that was very interesting, the story of their first 3 lights and who they went to. Pretty exciting. Okay, so this is now dry to the touch. I'm going to, what did I do with that? I'm going to reuse my, what is this? Parchment paper. Yes, you will miss my clock. I'll take pictures of it. Okay, again, 350, 30 seconds if you're using a heat press. If you're just using a regular household iron, no steam, medium-high heat, parchment paper, and keep the iron moving for 3 to 4 minutes. And that should heat set it. If it's not, and I remember, I'll show you again how you can tell that it is heat set. So the 350 for 30 seconds is kind of the standard for durable materials like cottons and canvas. So I'm going to take the heat off, and when it's cool to the touch, if I touch it and it does not feel tacky at all, I'll know it's heat set. If it does still feel a little tacky, then I'll put the parchment paper back down and apply the heat again. Okay. Good night, Cheryl. I put you to sleep with my little story. Okay, still kind of hot, but it's not feeling tacky at all. So let's turn it inside out and heat press the inside. Sometimes you're not able to do this, depends on what you are putting ink on. But if you're able to, turn it inside out and heat press from the back side. Okay, same thing, 350, 30 seconds. So I hope you liked that story about Watts of Love. There's more in here, and every once in a while I'll read you a little portion of it. And again, we would love it if you'd consider making a donation to Watts of Love. It would mean a lot to us and them. Okay. Let that cool off. And I'm going to turn that off. So I am ready to go, whether I'm staying home, being a homebody, or going out on vacation. I have my fancy vacation tote bag. So here's my tote bag, and here's my pillow. So either way, I am set. I'll get that in there so you can kind of take a picture of it. Not take a picture of it. I can get a picture of it. Okay, well, thanks for sticking with me for 2 projects tonight. And again, whether you're live or whether you replay, you want to type in the keyword, which is homebody, like my pillow, homebody, and you will get entered into our weekly drawing. We'll have it on Sunday night, the 21st. And you'll also get some links to products that I used tonight, information about sales that we're having. Actually, we're not having any sales. We're having Color Craze, so it's a promotion. And I think that's about it. We will be on, I'm still deciding. I may go on tomorrow morning and do something with our club transfer, talk a little bit about club. So I'm thinking I can't do Wednesday nights because of a prior commitment that we have, but I'm thinking I will do a Wednesday daytime. So if you're not available, probably 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you're not available, I understand. Just make sure you watch the replay so you can find out what the keyword was. So thanks for hanging out with us on your Tuesday night, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Do something creative every day.